what is your address?
Every Catholic in St. Louis, every Catholic in Missouri, every Catholic in America should be offended by the smear that Congressman Russ Carnahan has perpetrated on this campaign. I'm forced today to respond to Congressman Carnahan's smear of me, of my faith, and of my fellow Catholics. Earlier this week, our campaign was contacted about a website and a video. Upon review, we now know it is the worst kind of smear employed by Congressman Carnahan and his supporters less than 2 weeks before this election. What Congressman Carnahan is doing is the desperate act of a failing campaign, and his smears are from the playbook that we've seen in campaigns across the country, most recently in Kentucky. The smear website and video were created by a Democrat opposition researcher who has worked extensively on political campaigns. He is based in New Mexico and works with Democrats there and across the country. About 6 months ago, Congressman Carnahan hired a new campaign manager after his campaign started failing. The new campaign manager has worked for the Democratic Party in New Mexico, for other candidates there, and is directly connected to the creator of the smear website and video. It is true that I have served the Catholic Church. I worked with Pope John Paul II, hosting Rosa Parks in St. Louis, and served with our local church to educate and advocate regarding human rights and charity. I never had any responsibility regarding the issues alleged in the smear campaign. It is despicable, offensive, and beyond reproach to smear someone for his faith, Catholic or otherwise, like Congressman Carnahan has done to me. Let me repeat, I am offended by Congressman Carnahan's smear. All Catholics should be offended. I have expected Congressman Carnahan, as his campaign has faltered, to act desperately. I never expected this kind of hate and lowness. We need to get new people in Washington. We need to drain that swamp, because these kinds of hate-filled political power plays are beneath our nation and are an insult to all Americans. Thank you.
I'm the managing attorney of Catholic Legal Assistance Ministry, which includes the Catholic Immigration Law Project. And the woman who is in the video, Andrea Foreman, was an employee of mine, and she worked for me. This was at the time that Ed Martin was our boss. This was during the time that he was the head of the Human Rights Office. Andrea reported to me, I reported to Ed. And she worked with me, she did immigration, she was an accredited representative, and she was very good at her job. Andrea no longer works for me, and she hasn't for probably the last 10 years. What was said in the video about Ed and his role in pre-assignments is simply not true. Anybody who knows the Catholic Church knows lay employees have no say-so, no responsibility whatsoever in priest assignments. We just don't. Andrew's job was to do immigration, and she did it. I would say in the years that she worked for me and I worked for Ed, Andrew maybe had 5 conversations with Ed. That's it. Ed was a really good boss, and I am so sorry that 10 years later, an action of one of my former employees is affecting this campaign. This is a really important campaign. It's a really important election. And I'm really sorry that this is being brought up 10 years later by a former employee of mine. Thank you.
I'm really not here to speak to the politics of the matter. I'm here to, as a private citizen and one who believes in the scriptures gleaned from the prophet Micah, who said, this, and would have us ponder, I believe, today this: what does the Lord require of you but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God? To do justly would include the proper use of the facts. One can easily misuse facts out of chronology to present a deceitful message. Here's a fact for you. I find of personal interest, you may not, but the fact is, I haven't spoken to my father in over 40 days. But the truth of the matter is, my dad, a former POW in World War II, passed away on September 2nd. So there's a way to divert a fact and speak in such a way we know that causes people to be distracted from the real truth. To do justly, to love mercy. A callous attack on a family man is a merciless attempt to distract us from the sad reality of where we are today in a pro-abortion, anti-family, anti-capitalist type of socialism that further decays any culture it's previously ravaged in history. We love mercy, and if we do, we will rightly help the poor, of course, and we will, in my opinion, mercifully get our boot off the neck of business in the business community, without whom none of us would have jobs we enjoy here in America, those that are at least left. To do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. It is God who still observes the affairs of men. And although it may not be popular to hear, it is right to say that He sees, He knows the heart intent. He calls on us, people from both parties who are equally guilty of these things, to stop. We would do well to live with a true humility. And with that humility, we will stop this seek and destroy one another by diversion, innuendo, and falsehood. It comes from a pride fueled by greed and conceit. I'm calling on the good citizens of the 3rd District not to fall for any antics of diversion. Let's not permit these bullies to infect us with their tabloid smear that seems so destructively timed. Let us recall the words of our Lord: love your enemies, and pray for those who despitefully use you.
Back on your faith, on Catholicism. By reading it, it seems to be more of an attack claiming that you were somehow complicit in basically transferring employees of an organization that might have been pedophiles. Do you see that as an attack on Catholicism?
No, Charles, I mean, the website was put up 2 weeks before the election, and it's referring to my time serving my church. And it's saying that, therefore, you serve your church and you're associated with whatever they want to say. The facts are it's not true, and it's done to smear us. It's as clear as can be. It's a smear. It's a smear saying if you ever want to be in public life, you can't have served your church because we're going to associate you with things whether the facts are true or not.
So nothing on the website is true. The stuff on the website is all incorrect and false.
I haven't. The claims that are made, it's a smear. I mean, this is easy, Charles. I mean, this is, you don't have to, you don't have to look closely. It's a smear of someone, and it's done by, an operative for the party. So
now, what proof do you have that it's Carnahan's campaign who's behind it?
Well, I mean, the thing we know is that when you look at who's behind it, it's people that worked with the Carnahan, direct connection to the Carnahan campaign. And it just doesn't happen by chance 2 weeks before the election. So I think most people recognize that.
One more question?
What do you think about the lawsuit that was filed against you?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard a thing about it. We got notified about it. So Teresa, we're trying to work something up. We're working on this. Other questions? Okay, thanks everybody.